So we got a reserve for that. You miss like
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Give a notice to the media. Spartanburg County School District 5 has complied with the requirements of the Freedom of Information Act in notification of the media and other interested parties and organizations and posting of the agenda. Next, we need a consent of our agenda. Any comments or discussion on the agenda? All right, being that I see and hear none, we'll consider the agenda approved. Next, I need a motion to enter executive session.
I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussion of employment matters in reference to new hires, promotions, and resignations.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Cleveland. All in favor of going into executive session for the purpose of discussion of employment matters in reference to new hires, promotions, and resignations, please do so by raising your right hand. Motion carries 8-0. We are now in executive session. We have just returned from executive session where we discussed employment matters in reference to new hires, promotions, and resignations. Do I have a motion to enter public session?
I move that we end executive session and return to public session at 8:11.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Dr. Ford. All in favor of ending executive session and returning to public session, please do so by raising your right hand. Motion carries 8-0. We are now in public session. We will begin with our action items, and I'd like to recognize Mr. Ryan Coonan for consideration of early site package guaranteed maximum price for Sharon Grove Middle School.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Malone. Good morning, board, Dr. Gary. I'd like to call up Mr. Scott Powell, Mr. Kyle Farley. Scott is with Craig on Davis, PBK, and Kyle is with Contract Construction. We're very excited to start our first of two this morning, two GMPs for our referendum projects. We'll start with Sharon Grove Middle School. Sharon Grove is located out on Reedville Road on the other side of 101, right across the street from our transportation hub that's under construction. With that, I'll turn it over to Scott.
Just quickly on Reedville Road, you'll see entrance to Reedville Road and Sharon Church Road. Our building is located, it's a one-story middle school building located relatively close to the Reedville Road. We work very closely with the Department of Transportation. Our carpool line comes in and we've got, the next slide tells me how many feet, 4,000 feet of stacking. You can see the blue line for the carpool, and then our buses will enter more to the east part of the site, and they'll be able to loop around and drop, and our service entrance is also on that particular part of the site. You can see the location of a football field, and we also have worked with UNT. There'll be a detention pond. We've also worked with them to make sure we can have access in case we ever need a future school in the back part of the site.
All right, I'm Kyle Farley, President of Contract Construction. Thank y'all for being here this morning. For GMP for Sharon Grove Middle School, early site work package. This includes basically demolition and then site work and utilities on site, and then mass grading, fine grading for getting our building pad in place for $3,190,258.
And on behalf of the administration, I recommend the board approve the guaranteed maximum price, number one, for Sharon Grove Middle School, not to exceed $3,190,258.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the early site package guaranteed maximum price for Shannon Grove Middle School, not to exceed $3,198,258 as presented by the administration.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Cleveland. Any comments or discussion for the administration? Scott, go
Yeah, just a couple of things. You got the demo listed out separately from the rest of the package there. Is there anything special about the demo? What is it? Is the 60,000?
It's very minor demolition. There's a small structure on there that has to be removed. There's some fencing. There's some storm drain and water utility stuff at the top of the site that needs to be removed. It's listed out separate since it's.
As you may know, there's a house and there was two mobile homes.
Right.
So that's what he's referring to.
I remember some of our early conversations about this site was because of the topography and the way things fall off there. So how much of the parcel, how many acres are we actually disturbing and included in?
How many acres exactly?
Yes.
I can find that out. Is it 20 acres?
25.
25 acres. You got it. 25.
Are we having to do anything with any retaining walls or anything in the back with it? We're working all out.
Correct. Right now, we're working with the civil engineer to make sure we have a balanced site. So if we do have some extra dirt, we're going to just lose it on site and not have to haul it and fill either. So we're trying to minimize our site work costs by doing that.
That's saving us about $500,000 to be able to do that too.
Right.
So working with the civil engineer, it's really paid off.
And I know, so we're across the street from our bus hub, and so one thing that concerns me here is what are we missing in the middle between what's not included over on the bus hub site and what's not included here. So as far as DOT work, signals, widening, what do we?
So we're currently working with DOT. I have a meeting with them tomorrow. We've had many meetings with DOT talking about what's in the middle. And so originally the road improvements were going to be put into this middle school project. DOT asked us to put the turn lanes for the bus hub in the transportation project, so those were included. And then the turn lanes for the middle school were going to be included in this project. However, they are now telling us we need to include them all in the transportation project. So we're still working that out with them, which is why that's not included in this number.
So not any of it.
Correct.
And I know that's kind of the standard, last thing, sorry. I know that's kind of our standard contingency. Do we think we got any issues with rock, anything over there that, so any unsuitables back over there where it drops off into the back?
So we're also carrying an additional $100,000 in there for sidewalk allowance, or sorry, rock, unsuitable soils, rock allowance.
You've got that in the site work?
Correct. They're inside this site work number, outside of this contingency, there's a $100,000 allowance that goes back to the district if we don't use it for rock or unsuitable soils that may be on site. Let's say we find an old diesel tank out there. There's not going to happen, most likely, but you have to remove that soil and dispose of it properly. Use it.
So in reality, we got $250,000 worth of contingency.
On the site work.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Any other questions? Mr. Watson?
Can you go back just to the layout? See, we do have, you mentioned we do have space for another school.
There's a lot of property down south of here.
How would, just theoretically, how would that look, what would that look like in comparison to what we're building today?
Yeah, well,
Like, entrances and
well,
flow
we talked to your team, you would come in off the circle and the cars would have another line that would parallel the current line to the middle school, and our buses would loop and come all the way down and loop on that particular side of the school.
CGD actually did a very highly conceptual design for, just laid out in an elementary school, to show the car and the bus connection to it, just so we know.
so we feel pretty good that the remaining space could fit an elementary school.
There's about 60 acres on this site.
Yeah.
58, I think. So if we're disturbing 25, there's a bit left for now.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. I like that we're thinking ahead in that regard. That's smart because land's harder to find these days. Any other comments?
One quick. We've got the athletic field shown in the back. What is included within this for the athletic field area? Just a rough grading of it? Or?
Correct, just rough.
No topsoil, no nothing like that? I'm trying to find where all the Easter eggs are.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Any other questions?
I got one more follow-up, I'm sorry. With the maybe expectation that we will build possibly another school there, is there anything that we can be doing now with even planning, in terms of the site work and stuff like that? Anything you can think of,
I mean, the biggest thing would be utilities, and I think those are sized appropriately for another school.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else?
I was wondering, talking about the athletics, when will we get a package about finishing up that field and if there's gonna be a track around it and things of that nature? Will that be a separate package that we will
Yes.
vote on?
So we have 3 GMPs planned for this project.
Okay,
So I believe it'll be the second GMP.
The second GMP is just structural steel and concrete, and the third GMP, I think, is in November 23rd, I think is a Monday,
okay,
and that will be included in that.
thank you.
Any other questions?
there's not a track planned.
Oh, did she say track?
Yeah, I did.
No,
Yeah, traditionally, our middle school field there has not been a track.
It's not graded for a track, so that's a big deal. Yeah. Just a field.
All right, now that we're all clear. Okay. All good. We have a motion. It's been seconded. We'll now prepare for a vote. All in favor of approving the early site package guaranteed maximum price for Sharon Grove Middle School not to exceed $3,190,258 as presented by the administration, please do so by raising your right hand. Motion carries 8-0. Thank you, guys. All right, we will continue with our action items and Mr. Coonan and consideration of the early site package guaranteed maximum price for the replacement Duncan Elementary School.
Thank you. I'll ask Mr. Chairman Thompson to come join us for this one. Scott and Craig on Davis PPK are also the architects for Duncan Elementary. As you know, Duncan is being relocated down Danzel Road on property we currently own down on the other side of Danzel Road from here. And with that, I'll turn it over to Scott. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is actually GMP number one out of 3 as well.
So our building is located off South Densler Road. We have worked very close to the Department of Transportation. Our carpool line will come off of South Densler Road. We've got 2,400 linear feet of car stacking. We're already working part of East Bright Road to bring in our bus entrance off of East Bright Road. It'll come in and loop all the way, loop around to the back side of the property, and then service will come off of that all the way kind of around the building. That also does serve as our fire truck access, which is required. And we have, because of this being an arts magnet school, we have lots of wonderful performances. So there's really additional parking that is provided here with a large parking lot off of East Bright Road and pretty substantial parking lot off of South Densler Road. And there's a multi-purpose practice field located behind the school.
And clarify what Scott just said. Scott. East Bright Road here is pointed to. DOT is requiring us to relocate the current East Bright Road. It's actually called Beach Springs Road now, and we're relocating it to that current location as part of this project. And that number is included in what Trevin's going to present to you just a moment.
Trevin Thompson, Thompson Turner. So we're proud to present this GMP with you guys again, and good to see everyone again. So ours does include storm drainage, all utilities, all clearing, rough grade, asphalt paving, curb and gutter, on-site sewer, water storm drainage, and DOT scope with all utilities. So our GMP today is $7,427,756. The only thing really missing out of the site scope is landscaping and concrete and fencing.
On behalf of the administration, I recommend the board approve the guaranteed maximum price, number 1, for Duncan Elementary School of the Arts, not to exceed $7,427,756.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the Verdi side package guaranteed maximum price for the replacement of Duncan Elementary School not to exceed $7,427,756 as presented by the administration.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Watchman. Any comments or discussions for the administration?
About how much out of that budget is going to the road widening for the SCDOT?
So the road widening and relocating that road is a little under $2 million.
What was the reasoning that SCDOT needed that to be changed?
So DOT requires a certain frontage length, and the current property we own, I don't think this shows good. The current property we own basically is about right here, and we purchased these a home and a mobile home right here on the corner. The current road turns in here, so they wanted us to lengthen our frontage between drives. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, for safety purposes, it makes sense.
Yeah, you have to have a certain distance for.
That was considered as, it was a known cost whenever we purchased the property. And we
Yeah.
had this in here that worked pretty well. There'd be some cost with that. So roughly how many acres of our entire, I'm thinking again towards the future stuff and what our possibilities are in the future. What's roughly, how much are we disturbing of our property in there? And then maybe Ryan, you can talk a little bit about how are we gonna keep this property where we can do something with it in the future?
Ours is a little different. So our site does have septic systems. We're disturbing 35 acres. And the septic system really is getting installed on this portion right here. And with a pinch on here, you kind of limit your access to get back here. And that's a pretty steep slope. That's pretty unusable land anyways. I think, Brian, there's an opportunity for something in the front.
Yeah, so DOT has been very explicit in telling us that they will not allow a second school on the site because of the frontage, because of the proximity to the bridge at 85, and we can't widen that at all. So they're only going to allow us to have one school on the site. So putting a school in the back is at this point won't happen. There could be practice fields, there could be athletic fields back there, but there is room in the front for some type of facility if we ever wanted something in the future. That is not a school.
How much land in the front would be available? Acres?
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 acres.
Maybe I'm
We're,
wrong, but
we're
I
talking about, we are talking about this
Mhm.
square right
Yeah.
here. And our scope does have that getting cut down very well, so you have a nice sight from Danzig down to your school. Gotta be a nice flat spot too for field days or future building or whatever you guys decide.
Any other questions?
I thought it was always our anticipation we'd be able to do more with that side.
So, yes, it was. At one point, we thought we would because of the acreage that was there. And although we have the acreage and the space, one, it did take more as far as the septic, the sewer field, or septic field. But the real killer for us was DOT. They said, you may have enough room on there, but with the traffic, they will not allow. And I don't know, 15, 20 years for the DOT may change the leadership or their expectations. Obviously, would never be a high school, even if it was a middle school, it'd be pretty close to beach. But there may be, it could be something that's not a school day, like we need to build another maintenance. Okay, that's a possibility. District office, that's a possibility. Something like that, but a second school, according to DOT, they will not allow us to do it.
So how much area, again, I'm sorry to backtrack there, on not having property there. How much of the area are we going to be using then for the septic system?
Yeah, the building and the fields and stuff is roughly 28 acres and the septic system is around 7 acres.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out kind of how much property are we gonna have left, if we decide that's residual property to do something away, I mean, because it's a large piece of.
You know the total disturbed acreage?
Disturbed is 35.
And it's 107 acres.
Yeah, that's what I was trying, we got 70 acres worth of stuff that's not usable, can we do something where maybe somebody else can make use of that property if we decide to get rid of it one day?
I guess the septic field and the detention pond is some things we have to look at to do that.
Mr. Cleveland?
I am disturbed with this property here. Why are we having a large septic area?
So this has also been a known issue, that this site does not have sewer. The adjacent parcels to us are the large industrial buildings that are there, and there's an industrial facility across the street. They each have their own private sewer that connects to the public. However, we can't get access across their site to be able to get to the public sewer. My last conversations with the developer who owned the facilities, they're selling them. And since they're under contract currently, they won't work with us to get a sewer.
And Mr. Cleveland, had I not been through something similar, the sewer really would have scared me and bothered me. I did not know when I came here until we were doing welfare there for a long time. Welfare was on a what's it called, sewer field, what's it called?
Septic field.
Septic field. Also, we're the same thing running into, I didn't know until we started doing work down at R.D. Anderson, that they are currently that way. But so to a layman or to anyone that's there, you really cannot tell the difference. Is it what we want? No, but the cost of getting sewer there is much more than it will cost to lay this out.
Any other questions or discussion?
Just go back to the regular, what have we got the contingency, just, that's the standard 5%, do we have any additional
Yes, there's
contingency for rocking and suitable?
within the site, we did carry roughly 10% of the building pad being unsuitable. We estimated it's $151,000. The geotechnical report for the site looked really good. It's a great topsoil field, and we didn't see any rock in the boring, so everything.
Don't say
Cross.
that.
You probably sit that down.
A lot of rock around here.
Yeah, go ahead and start delivering for rock.
Good, Scott.
Good, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, go ahead. Yes, Dr. Ford.
In the plan for the building itself, because it is a school for the arts, is there an auditorium included in the plans?
Yeah, we will have it's gonna be a very unique space. So it is a multi-purpose room that can be used for PE with retractable seats to come out to provide a very large performance space. So we look forward to sharing with you the design at our third GMP, I guess. The next one's just structural.
You see a lot of times a gym that has bleachers in it, maybe a stage. This one is really gonna be a performance area that happens to be a gym. Does that make sense? So it is unique.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's
neat.
gonna be really nice.
And the dance studios up top will have a retractable wall to allow more seats up top, so it can really maximize the number of seating. And we're also looking at having our stage platform technically with doors to the outside, so we could actually have people sit outside and use the stage for performances. So it's pretty. We're working very closely with the school. We've got we want the school to reflect the quality of the arts programs that they have.
Any other questions? We have a motion that's been seconded. We'll now prepare for a vote. All in favor of approving the early site package guaranteed maximum price for the replacement Duncan Elementary School not to exceed $7,427,756 as presented by the administration, please do so by raising your right hand. Motion carries 8-0. Thank you. All right, do I have any other motions?
I move that we approve the new hires, promotions, and resignations presented by the administration and discussed in executive session.
Thank you, do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Gergley. All in favor of approving the new hires, promotions, resignations as presented by the administration and discussed in executive session, please do so by raising your right hand. Motion carries 8-0. Do I have any other motions?
I move that we end the June 29th call board meeting at 8:31 a.m.
Thank you, do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Faulkner. All in favor of ending the June 29th call board meeting at 8:31 a.m., please do so by raising your right hand. Motion carries 8-0.